Analysis on this from Einar Tangen. Pleased to say he joins me on the line from Beijing. Einar's a Senior Fellow at the Centre for International Governance Innovation. Great to have you on, Einar. So let's start with this. The IMF says the global economy is proving more resilient than people thought. But in your opinion, what is genuinely resilient and actually improving? And where do you see fragility, Achilles heel anywhere?
Well, obviously, China's been doing very well. They exceeded their expectations in terms of 5% growth. The U.S. looks on its surface very strong, but you start to look at the fragility of 50% of the American people who feel, and actually are, they don't have $400 in the case of emergency, and they feel that they're on what they call the kill line, that any major, tragedy, whether somebody died or lost a job or there was an accident, an ambulance call, that they would be pushed into very hard times, possibly losing their house, becoming homeless. And that's not a good place to be.
No, never, that's for sure. The report also suggests, though, and I don't know if this is a positive or not, but it suggests that economies are becoming almost trade war hardened, that when heavy tariffs get imposed, they find new supply routes, they find new trade partners. Does that mean that the Trump tactic of imposing heavy tariffs is actually losing a bit of its kind of power?
Well, it never really had power. What it did was he was weaponizing trade, but on the backs of his own people. The studies have shown that 4% was absorbed by those who are importing goods, and 96% was absorbed by consumers. This is not how things. It's like, I'm going to hit myself or shoot myself if you don't do what I want. Plus, the reality is the Supreme Court is reviewing with a very jaundiced eye exactly what powers Donald Trump can use. You cannot use tariffs arbitrarily. They have to be within the law, and he has a whole slew of things that are on the table which are going to have to be reversed. You're already seeing companies lining up lawsuits to recover monies that they paid out, especially the big ones like Walmart.
A big driver of the IMF's assessment that things are okay, they're pretty resilient, is linked to AI-related investment. But money seems to be pouring into AI almost like a boulder going down a hill. It's almost as if people are oblivious to the concerns or the risks at this point. I mean, are you positive on this, or are you one of those who thinks people might be getting a bit ahead of themselves? The bubble is a risk.
I think the bubble is definitely a risk. You have 52% of the investment last year was in these server farms. Really, there is not any proven model of revenue that could support that. So right now, all you have is these companies promising each other lots of business, but somebody has to pay for it, and that is going to have to be business or consumers. And right now, we just do not have enough to support that. You're also seeing it spilling over into chips. There's kind of an irrational exuberance. How can a company like NVIDIA, with $5 trillion valuation, be worth more than the GDP of Germany? Doesn't seem right.
I love that. I want to pin that on a board somewhere. Irrational exuberance. Appreciate your analysis, Einar Tangen, Senior Fellow at the Centre for International Governance Innovation. Appreciate it.